guy does this, and he's like, oh, la, la, la. Oh, la, la, la.
Is that my voice?
Oh, wow. I sound good.
I think I'm going to like this. I remember like the one time we had a baseball team, like they just realized like, I think we have enough guys to play baseball. And then like just had a, so like the like record book of like my school's baseball team is like 03, 2-8, and then just
blank.
2011, 8-4. Yeah. You're like, cool.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Play a little spring ball.
Yeah. One year, maybe they'll come back and they'll win it.
Yeah, imagine being a diehard fan and just years of just no games.
We just need one more student to come on, coach. Convince one more person to play baseball.
We could make a catcher out of wood and blankets.
Yeah, we can just have like a tube that it goes in and then it pitches it back out.
You know, at the bowling alley when it goes underground, comes back up. Why is that?
We can create a guy who does that. I want to see my boys play. I want to justify the pennants and the clothing I bought.
I have holding onto a large collection of baseball cards of the boys' team from 04, and none of them played at any other level, but I'm the only one who has these, so I need these to be valuable.
If they're rare. If anybody, I could get so much money if someone would want to pay so much money for these.
I just need a Matt, age 35, father of 2, to suddenly have his athletic career take off.
Yes.
And then I'm sitting on a glove. I'll have to change that to not a real person's name.
Is it a real?
Yeah, Matt. Shout out. He was like a few years ahead of my brother, who's 4 years older than me. So it was like you're in elementary school and you're like, who's on the team? And it's just like a name you hear.
Matt Schumann.
There was a few Schumans.
Like a horse.
That's what's funny about, and one thing I love about basketball is that there's obviously the big lore of the main characters, the Michael Jordans and so forth, but there's also like a fractal like lore down at the regional level of like, you know, down to all the way at the very end of that is like a random gym on a Saturday. Like there's a meta at the group I play with. It's like the same sort of 15 to 20 guys rotating in and out, and I know every one of their strengths and weaknesses. We all know kind of how we play. I don't even know a couple of their names, but I know he's left-handed.
Okay.
But there's a meta there, and so that's going on in every gym, like all the way down to like our tiny gym, which had, you know, just the 4 bleachers, and like chanting was awkward because you could tell who wasn't, and like it's just
Yes.
But all the way up to and then I have lore from that of like, you know, fucking Tyler could get to the rack, but now he's just a guy with a beard somewhere. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But then all the way up to like 3 levels of college, they've got their own shit. Messiah College, where my brother went to play D3 ball. Wow. But they had like a ton of incoming freshmen, and he was like, I think I would be like at best like a 6th or 7th man by my like senior year. And it's D3, no scholarship, so you're just working really hard for no reason. And so he's like, all right, never mind, I'm just gonna hang out.
Okay. Wow.
All right, a little basketball rant. Felt good.
Where the places we'll go.
It's June. New month means new exclusive over on the Patreon, patreon.com/holysmokespod. It's essentially a Scoochie Boochie Patreon as well. This month, it's one of my favorite videos I ever made. It's a sketch I made back in college called Same Great Taste. Fun fact, the director who's flipping out, getting really mad in that, is also the guy that made the beats for I Have Sex and I Bought a Submarine and High and a lot of my best songs, honestly. When you're on that Patreon, oh boy, there's so many treats for you. Besides all the exclusive monthly videos we've had going for over a year now, you also get a discount on Scoochie Boochie merch. If you join the highest tier Apostle, you get 30% off Scoochie Boochie merch. So if you're already planning on buying, like, I don't know, a hat or an Atlantis vinyl pre-order or some dumb dangler shorts, you can get a big discount on that. So maybe join that Patreon first, and also I'll help you out. Get you 50% off your first month on the Patreon with this code right here, Nifty50. Put that in when you join the Patreon. You get 50% off your first month, and then you also get that merch discount. Oh my God, I'm just giving it away. Thank you so much for supporting my dream of doing this as a job. We're getting closer, but we're still very far away. We have fun. Thank you so much for watching the show. And if you want to sponsor the show, you want me to do an ad read for maybe something cannabis related or just anything. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Let's do an improv scene.
Yeah.
What do you say? What should we do a scene about?
Those like little awards you like award people, like as when you're a kid, you're like, oh yes, you're the best at this, or like,
Oh, yeah.
and like seeing that person,
Like a glowing review of an upperclassman said by someone younger.
yeah, it's like you had the coolest hat for 2 years.
He's the guy that brought hacky sack to Dayspring.
Yeah,
No one was doing that here until he showed up with that sack.
and he had like the coolest trick that he practiced, and he could do it really well.
He could off the knee over his head, and then he'd throw sort of his foot up, and then it would rest on the underside of his foot. I've never seen anything like it.
Beautiful.
He was like that. It was that skateboard guy that invented a bunch of the tricks just on flat ground, like spinning it around.
Rodney Mullen.
He's the Rodney Mullen of hacky sack to us.
Wow, he innovated
Yeah.
as the sport was new.
He's the godfather. And no one believes him because it's a crazy thing to brag about.
Yeah. And he owns a Subway franchise today.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, damn, dude, he was a legend. It's just like, turns out there's not a ton of money in the sack.
You sort of innovated hacky sack further than it could have gone without you.
You'd think there'd at least be like a Vice episode about him, but not even that.
Yeah.
What was his name again? I know we called him Zuber, but what was his like Christian name?
From the one before?
The hacky sack guy.
The hacky sack guy?
I just called him Zoobs or Zuber, but I don't remember his real name.
Zooby Doob. I do, yeah. I remember like, Zoob, hitting the sack.
Zoobs, yeah. He'd be,
And then he'd kind of like, he'd kind of turn on some of his big show tricks. He'd be
Yeah.
like working on something, you kind of you'd zoom at him, and he'd kind of show you.
dude, remember that time it landed in the fish tank and Miss Collins was pissed?
Oh, God, she was screaming. I was just like, it's just a ball.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's full of like little mystery beans or beads, and those fish started immediately gobbling them up. Because if you think about what a fish can do, gobble a little thing is like pretty much the only thing.
That's like their only outlet. We've given them this prison where it's like gobbling and kind of pacing.
It's a great one because fish don't have the ability to express because they live in the water, so we can't tell they're depressed.
No.
Because they only can move one way. So we're just like, sure, no, they like it in there. I
Yeah.
gave them a little castle. They know what that is.
You know what that is? I give them the little flakes.
Life is good, you know?
Life
No
is good.
predators, though.
No predators.
That's really a would you rather for a fish. Would you rather open ocean and all the freedom but all the dangers? Or you're a prisoner but you're for sure not going to get eaten and you're going to live your full fish life probably?
I think, for me, I'd still go, ocean.
Hell yeah,
Freedom.
brother. I'm going to, editor's note, start playing Born to be Wild right there. Softly.
Yeah. I'd be ocean.
Hey, down on the fish way.
Just cruising along, maybe picking up some kelp every so often, running into the school every, a little bit.
Looking for some blue tail.
Getting, messing around with temperature. You can kind of go close and go to like in warm water. You can go down deep and go like cold,
And whatever comes narwhal. Yeah, no, I'm gonna be a fishy.
Yeah, I'm gonna shake my fin.
Find all of the flakes and eat them.
Explode into
Space.
Space.
That part stays.
Yeah,
That line is
that's
too
it.
good.
Too good. We love it.
Still explode into space.
yeah,
That's even more
we gotta-
impressive.
we gotta keep
Exploding
it.
out of the ocean into space, that's even more badass than just from Fort Lauderdale or whatever.
Totally.
I think that counted as an improv scene. Let's tell a Bible story.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I'm working through Exodus.
Okay.
You probably know the story of Moses. Pretty famous. To someone who didn't grow up in church at all, how famous would you say Moses is to church people? Like, where'd you rank him all time?
And inside the church, or
Yeah, so people went to church a lot growing up.
okay, where do I put Moses?
Yeah, like, is he top 10 most famous Bible character, probably?
I think so. Because he had like all the kind of cool miracles, like parting the Red Sea.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the guy.
He's like, I'm trying to think of what character from fiction is he like, I mean, not like Batman, but like that level of importance. Spider-Man.
It was kind of like big brain stuff, He
Yeah.
was kind of like the sort of like the big brain planner.
Or Steve Jobs, kind of.
I didn't want to say like I didn't want to be like, he's Elon Musk. Moses is Elon Musk.
Or maybe like comparing him to like comedy famous people. Like he's like probably like a Jim Carrey or something. Like Pantheon.
I would say,
Bill Murray?
I mean, I feel like in my head it was like Mort Saul.
Is that just because that sounds like a Bible name?
No, because like I feel like he was like very smart.
Who's more tall?
He was like the first guy to like take like a newspaper up, and he would just kind of like riff on the stories.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I gotta look up more tall. Well, for that reason, I can't put him in as the parallel of Moses in terms of fame.
I guess so. Yeah. But I was like trying to think of like, you know, because I feel like, you know, Steve Jobs or like the CEO, like, you know, Moses was kind of like, I see where we should be. He's like arguing with the board, and then he's got to go above the board, and like he takes the company, you know.
Yeah.
But that's like we don't want to reward CEOs right now. So.
Not the move. But also, this won't come out for months, so who knows? Maybe by then,
maybe
by then everyone will love CEOs because they were so cool and generous.
Yeah.
So we're at the stage in Moses where he killed a guy, ran away. You know, he's a former prince of Egypt, but he's actually low key Hebrew. Kills a guy, has to flee the country, ends up in Midian. Riz on some maidens there, marries Zipporah, a Midianite woman, has a kid already, Gershom. No one remembers that. He did this as a father. He did all this shit. And then, but the chapter previous ended with like a very foreboding like, but God remembered how all the Israelites were having a bad time in Egypt. So he felt bad about that. Okay. And so now this brings us to the burning bush, which...
Whoa!
The original logo for this show, and we did it briefly in like 2017 with a couple buddies, and my friend drew this. I'll put it on screen, but she drew like a burning bush, but the bush is weed nuggets, and it was our Holy Smokes logo. We're like, that's fucking perfect,
wonderful.
But so yeah, it's a pretty iconic one as well.
Yeah.
Good Samaritan and burning bush. These both deserve their own episodes.
It's you know. Really big, beautiful.
Kind of the iPhone.
Beautiful stories.
Of the Steve
Jobs. iPhones, yeah. The Steve Jobs of Moses. He's thinking, you know?
Mm-hmm. So right now he's just, he's just taking care of his stepdad's sheep. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Working at the company because he can get a job there. And he takes him to the Mountain of God. Later translations say Mount Sinai, or a.k.a. Mount Horeb. So one of the main mountains for these guys, and he's just hanging out with the sheep like you do. And then the angel of the Lord appears to him in a flame of fire out of a bush. I like this translation better than what I had earlier. He looked, and the bush was blazing.
He looked, and the bush was blazing.
Cue porn bass. Editor's note, put in porn bass there. But try to find a way to search porn bass where it doesn't show porn.
Oof.
Good luck.
Good luck.
No, just wave. Dot wave.
No, just the sound.
Oh, I mean,
no.
dot MP3. It's like, well, I'll do the YouTube to MP4, but then I'll just choose MP3.
Yes. Yes. I won't look at the video.
That's always my downfall with temptation is because I'm like, no, just looking up boob.wave.
Yeah. Oh, I got distracted.
I was just doing my editing.
Yeah.
And Moses is like, I gotta go check this shit out. What's up with that? And then God calls to him by name. He's like, hey, Moses. And he's like, here I am. And he's like, it's me, the God of your dads, Isaac, Jacob, Abraham. Like the series of dudes that the Lord's been like, you're gonna get the dope land. He's like, me again.
Each one is like, oh. And you got to go through. You got to give respect to the big guy, his son.
Yeah, they love what is it called? Like a genealogy, like along the dude line.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
You're picking it up from these guys.
And he's like, remember? It's like I've been saying it's gonna be good. And he's like, so yeah. Moses hides his face because he's afraid to look at God. Can't blame him. And the Lord's like, yeah, I've been hearing the misery from the Israelites having a bad time in Egypt, and I know about this, and I'm actually going to bring them to the good land, flowing with milk and honey, which I love that phrase. Flowing with milk and honey. Like, today that's just a couple items on a grocery list, but back then, if you could get milk and honey, like, oh.
Get out of town. Also, did you ever, like, imagine the land of milk and honey?
Yeah, especially because it's in VeggieTales. Do you watch VeggieTales growing up? No. You didn't?
I think I was like too old. That kind of came in.
Yeah, it'd be weird. Probably it's like a teen and be like, "What are you guys watching?
These VeggieTales? What are they doing? No."
Anyways, I'm gonna go beat off.
Yeah, I do that now.
And sleep till 11 a.m. and then play Halo 3.
Yeah.
Or I guess Halo CE. I guess.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Halo.
You think it's low enough to do a cheers safely?
I think so. Yeah.
Hell yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna deliver him milk and honey. And then it's really funny. He's like, this promised land. He's like, it's that one, and it's the one where all these guys live. And he rattles off like 6 nations. So it's just like the list of like, here's people that you're gonna boot out. Cool.
Wow.
And so he's like, so I'm sending you. Hello, me, God, is sending you, Moses, shepherd, to just go tell Pharaoh, like, hey, they gotta go. You, the wanted for murder guy, you gotta just walk back in there and be like, can you not only not punish me, but can you free your entire labor force? And Moses is like, who? Wait, I'm just a guy. Who am I? Why would I? Oh, he's like, he knows his warrants. He's like, hey,
whoa, hey.
I'm a guy.
I'm a guy here. You're looking at me, I'm just a guy.
Just a guy.
You want me to do this stuff? I'm a guy.
Why don't you come back let's have lunch. Yeah. Let's talk. Let's just talk.
That's guy stuff. I'm a guy.
I like watching the game. I like the the jousting. I don't know what sports they had.
I don't like planning what I'm doing 2 weeks from now. And you're wanting me to ask the king about this? I'm a guy.
Yeah, I'm just like 9 to 5. 9 to 5 sheep die on me every day.
Of my thousands of sheep. I'm a guy.
And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I'll tell you. And Moses is like, okay, so what if I tell the people, like, hey, God told me to come get you. Who should I tell them? Like, who am I talking to here? And he's like, just tell him I am who I am. Hit him with the Popeye. I am who I ammed on his ass.
Wow. And do you think that's connected?
That Popeye is like God?
Like Popeye's secret Christian.
I mean, I'd believe it, dude.
Secret Christian allegory.
He's like he's kind of a symbol of like just fascist dominance. He just beats down quote unquote evil and like, yeah, I mean, I could see it.
Wow.
I bet if he rolls his sleeve up all the way, there's like a fish or a cross.
Yeah, the fish. Gosh.
And that's for fucking with the church.
Yeah. I've been to church the whole time.
Dude, have you seen the Robin Williams one?
A little bit. It is always like, this is cool, but then like somehow it's like really kind of like slow and like boring.
Yeah, it's so weird to watch. Admittedly, I watched it on mushrooms, but it's they do cartoonish stuff, but they try to make it all look real. So, like, for instance, when his arm gets giant and punches somebody out of the water, it's like a real animatronic with just, like, so much hair on it. It's just weird seeing that much apparently real flesh and hair pop out of the water that it's like, oh, actually interesting. I don't know if they were going for, like, just sort of gross, but
yeah,
it's got my attention. And also the fact that he just did this for an entire feature. He's on screen the whole time. Fucking...
That is insane.
That'd fuck your face up, I feel like.
I think it would. Hey.
He's like, well, the cartoon looks like this, so
I'm going to wear my face like this.
Really impressive. So yeah, he's the Popeye's God, and and he's like, yeah, tell him that's who sent you, and it's cool. And so bring the elders together and tell him that he knows about your misery, gonna give you the land. Same good news. He repeats it again. There's a lot of that where they're like, remember a thing we just said? I'm like, I swear to God, I just read this. Milk and honey. I'm gonna cut all that. Editors no cut all that. Let's see. And then he's like, here's the plan. He goes right into that montage. He's like, Israelite leaders, here's the plan. We're going to say we need to go do sacrifices for 3 days in the desert. And Pharaoh, not going to like that. He's going to be like, no. And then me, God, codename Johnny Bravo, is going to fuck him up, language. And then eventually it'll force him to let you go. That's the whole plan. And then specifically it's going to go so good that every woman shall ask her neighbor and any woman living in a neighbor's house for jewelry. And they'll give them to you and you will plunder them. It's like a literal heist plan. It's like we walk out of there rich.
Because it is just like, you see the setup of like, all right, we're going to make them look this way by having the 3-day thing. They're going to protest that. And while they're protesting that, we go into the back door and get the Pharaoh.
Not the real goat skin. The real goat skin is under my saddlebag.
Under my saddlebag the whole time.
We meet up at the rendezvous oasis.
Yeah. And then a couple of ladies let us plunder the house.
And then it's like at the end of like an Ocean's movie where they're all dressed up nice and they're somewhere like, Oasis and there's like, a little fountain or whatever, and they're like, you made it, like, buddy.
Yeah, we did it, yeah.
And then they have like a cheers scotch to the one guy that died heroically.
Yeah. But they freed all of the people.
But they freed Israel, yeah. Yeah, let's do improv. Oh, that's a good stopping point. Any takeaways from that story before we get into some improv?
Well,
Burning Bush.
I guess it's like wild to remember, you kind of, like Moses he's got some greatest hits. So you kind of like remember like, oh yes, like they kind of like made you like do all these things before you like really started throwing like curses and miracles at people.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the movie
Prince of Egypt?
The I think Christian Bale plays Moses. It's like Exodus, Gods and Man or something.
No, I have not.
It's like this stuff, but it's like Christian Bale, so he's like also kind of badass. Because I feel like whenever I listening to that, I think of Moses how I thought of him like skinny guy with like beard and long hair. Like he's always kind of like a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, like buff Christian Bale is kind of like, you got to talk to him. And he's just like,
yeah, it's like, well, he's the leading man of our nation, obviously. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, in the next chapter, Moses is like, I'm not a public speaker. Like, I think he has like, he just has a goofy ass voice. Like, oh no, people tell me I sound stupid. It's not like a speech impediment or anything. I just sound like a stupid kind of guy.
Yeah. And is that like God does this and he's like, oh, la, la, la. Oh, la, la, la.
Is that my voice?
Oh, wow. I sound good.
I think I'm going to like this. Head out on the highway.
I think I'm going to like speaking for God.
But no, what actually happens is his bro Aaron is going to speak for him. He's like a King's Speech thing, but he just has a sub kind of. Like somebody comes in. Yeah. Wow. It's pretty wild.
So I think those are, and also just like wondering, just like thinking about all these stories again, like every time someone says the genealogy at somebody, now thinking about it, I feel like there's more people to where like I always like when I hear that, I think there's like 5 chosen people at any given time.
Yeah.
And so, but like this is like, oh, like, or like maybe like remembering the movie where they're like, Moses, you're probably like the descendant of this guy. And I think some of it's like, what are you talking about? Instead of like, it's like clear, you know, I figured you out. Yeah, you 100%. Are, descended from all the people that we want you to be descended from.
Yeah. Like that's what big, especially if you're the kind of church we went to, a bunch of, the whole point of the New Testament is Jesus. And the whole point of the Old Testament is just getting us to Jesus. So like being able to connect like dude to dude is like a big way of being like, right?
Because I think like, do you think anyone dares to like do the genealogy of like Mary or like or like something?
Like, I think she had a cousin in Genevieve, but I don't know. She was just around. I don't know. Yeah, but now she's the virgin.
She's the virgin. It's awkward. Let's see where she comes from, She's watching from heaven like, okay, you guys are really weird about the virgin thing. Sorry. I had interests. I was a whole person. I did a lot of work raising the son of God, and this is, you just think of that one little...
Yeah, you creeps. Also, and then I wasn't, because I had more kids after, regular style. I didn't permanently cut Joseph. I just kept, then we had a fam.
Leave it behind.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my hall pass was the Lord of Lords.
Yeah.
Who's mad at that?
Yeah. What do you gotta do? Why you gotta be mad at that?
Joseph was mad initially, but then eventually he was like, "Who am I? Who am I kidding?"
If you were in the same situation, you'd probably make the same decision.
You know what I'd do if I was Joseph and I was like, "I want my nut. You fuck me now."
Yes.
I also want to fuck the Lord.
And I'll take a cool power.
Yeah, because you're like, you hold all the chips.
Yeah, it's like, you gave my wife a child. Give me super strength.
Yeah, give me like a little guy, like a super dog.
Give me a super friend.
I want the best dog in the world.
Yeah. Gosh, wow.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
I'd be fun to do like a Genie 3 Wishes scenario where the first 2 are like, I want to make the universe a place of love and like solve everything, and like the second one's like, and just like you do what you should do, and then the third one you're like, best puppy of all time, though.
I want the best puppy. And I want it to live for 20 years.
Doggy. He and I can never die. You just do that. And Frisbee Day. Frisbee time all the time. We're always young. And if I can switch it, I can customize my video game. I could change it to a spaniel for a millennium, that kind of thing. But it's ultimately still the same boy. We have all this history and stuff.
Okay, if that's your wish.
I'm not finished. Clause. Genie was in a rush to get somewhere else.
Okay, yeah. What else were you thinking?
And I can. He's a cuddler too. He's like a nap time, but also he knows how to not like get his nose and like tongue like all up in your face and mouth. He's like respectful with it. Good around kids, fast, so we can do that. When they run off the dock and they try to jump to catch the fast moving thing, he's like elite at that. But he can also just chill and watch like a show. He likes The Simpsons. He's got good taste in shows, so he's never like upset if we watch a bad show.
Do you need anything to eat? This is going to take a while.
I just, I keep kind of, I almost, just.
Are you writing this down?
Yeah. I got it.
Oh, is that what this scroll?
I'm working on my scroll.
It feels like, you'd be powerful enough to just do a more efficient, or just like lock it in and know it or something.
Yeah, but you every single wish is normally very, very short.
Really? I feel like it's so important. You don't want to fuck this up,
Well, just, you're more thoughtful than other people.
Well, let's table the dog wish for a second. What? Am I allowed to ask you a question that's not a wish?
I guess that's okay.
What's the most sort of successful wish that people have asked for across your many lifetimes? What's the best one you've seen that you're just like, if you had to recommend one?
Most successful wish. It's always like, maybe like taller, or like sometimes people want specific things, They
taller?
Taller.
To be taller?
Yeah. Very specific, Specificity, I think, is I'm always like, I like that. Because some people try to get vague with it, and then they're disappointed that they didn't describe it.
Right. Okay, that's good advice. Be very literal and technical.
Yeah.
Maybe I should get like a lawyer.
I can get you one if you like.
That's not a wish, though.
Okay.
I'm thinking to myself. Don't you look at that scroll.
You were looking at me
Don't
when
look
you
at the
said
scroll.
it.
Don't you? Yeah, you're just trying to go. Tell you what. Let's just go to lunch. I can tell you're tired, and I don't want.
How much more do you think you have in your wish?
Well, I need enough time to get a lawyer first of all, and I'm going to make it count because I think I'm about to be infinitely wealthy at least.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to take an hour.
Okay, let's take an hour. Back here, like 45.
I'll be in the lamp.
Okay. What you got in there?
Huh? Pillows.
I wish I could see what was in there.
Yeah. Pillows, a hookah. Kind of classic.
Does a little genie come over out of the hookah?
Sometimes you want to break up the just being by yourself in a sort of lamp.
Yeah, can you wish stuff for yourself?
No, that's not how it works. We just kind of chill. Chill.
How busy is your work week? Like, how often are you chilling versus doing wishes?
Normally there's like, a good, 10 to 1,000 years between.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
10 years to 1,000 years? Or 10,000 to 1,000 years?
10 to 1,000. So it's not like,
It's like a countdown.
Yeah, 10,000 years.
That sounds awesome. Can you watch shows or anything?
No shows. Just my thoughts, my kind of kooky thoughts.
What if I pulled an Aladdin? I use my wish to free you.
Yeah, I guess that'd be cool.
What would you do if I freed you, though?
Let's see. What would I do? I don't know. Maybe walk to a mountain.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
It's really sweet and sad. You don't even know about fun stuff.
Yeah.
I guess, do you just have to piece it together from what people wish for?
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I've never really been to a party or, I don't meet other genies, so I can't fall in love or.
Damn.
But wouldn't mind being taller.
Is that a sticky? I tried to hide it. I was a little surprised when you popped out and you're like 5'4".
Yeah. We live in a small place, but you still think, I'm not as small now because I get out of the lamp and I'm bigger.
It's easier to shrink when you're already pretty small.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Dude, I could show you the world, man. We could. Folks, thanks for watching. Holy smokes. This won't come out for some time. Do you have anything you want to plug?
If you want to follow my improv team, Sand Improv on Instagram and stuff.
Same freaking rules. They're really funny.
Thank you. I think that's all I got.
Mike Brunley, who's on Sand, is the voice of Old Bobby Nutballs in my album Dad Quest. He did a tremendous job. It's really funny. He's like he's a prawn specter, meaning he pans for little shrimps instead of gold.
Beautiful.
So he's like a coastal prospector.
I've got lots of little ones.
And he's like, yeah, his main thing is that all the other prospectors, they mine the rivers because they know that there's giant seagulls that can get them. And he's like, but that's bullshit. I don't believe it. And then of course he gets carried away by a giant seagull. And I had him do like just so many takes of the scream of a man being carried away by a seagull. That's actually a perfect impression. And like, I ended up using just all of them because it was funnier to just let it get quieter for like 8 screams.
Oh, like so just like his like scream take? Wow.
No! With little pauses.
Yeah, that's when he went, oh no. Like he dropped a pasta or something.
Oh, darn it.